Okay, so Robert Drysdale, 2 girls. Forrest Griffin, girl. Gray Maynard, girl. Dan Gable, 4 girls. There is, as we were discussing earlier, supposedly, allegedly, in the fighter mythology, you're a high-level fighter, wrestler, etc. You're more likely to have girls. You've heard that.
Yeah.
What have you heard about that?
Well, I've heard it both ways. You have too much testosterone, or you don't have enough because you're training all the time. And I mean, I'm not a scientist, I guess.
Yep.
You know, I don't really know. I think it's just a way of God telling us, like, hey, you know, there's more to life than just teaching people how to fight, which we probably do to our son, you know, like, hey, you got to defend yourself, or it's just like, hey, you know, here's a girl, it's going to soften you up. Yeah.
Now, interesting, you and your wife, when you had your daughter Estella, on New Year's Eve, I believe it was last year,
2012.
2012 New Year's Eve. You guys didn't want to know the gender. You got basically surprised at birth. You didn't
right.
get, you know, any images of, oh, it's a boy, it's a girl. You know, 4 or 5 months in, you waited until actual birth.
Yeah.
To find that out. What was behind that?
Well, we were doing a home birth, and we just wanted it to be really, you know, even if you have a lot of kids, how many times does that happen in your life? Like, even if people that have 5 kids, I mean, that's like the most, that's Christmas times a billion, you know? You're just waiting for 9 months to know, like, what this baby's gonna be, who it's gonna be, and, you know, for us, we didn't really want to get caught up in we're gonna have a blue room or pink room or whatever it was. We just wanted to, like, really put our energy into having a healthy baby, whether it was a boy or a girl. And so we just kind of dialed in our Jessica's eating, you know, the nutrition. We kept really active and just try to learn as much as we could just to have a healthy baby, because you know, a lot of people are kind of unfortunate, you know, to have babies that go through these crazy issues, and you know, it was just pretty much like, whether it's a boy or a girl, I just want to have a healthy, happy baby.
So at the moment of birth, you had 2 names at the ready then?
No, we didn't have any names. We didn't. Yeah, it was like we kind of wanted to meet the baby and then kind of name it. So
how long did it take to get to arrive at that name then?
Yeah, it came to like the last, like, they were like, no, you have to give this baby a name. We're like, all right, because Jess had
like day 5 or
yeah, we had this crazy pregnancy or we had this crazy birth. It was at home. It was a home birth, and Jess was pushing for, like, it was a 20-hour
labor.
Yeah, at home, and then she was pushing, and the heart rate dropped, and we had to call the ambulance. We had to go in, and she kept going there.
She wound up going into the hospital.
Yes, going into the hospital. Yeah. Kept pushing, and then what happened was the umbilical cord was wrapped around her foot, and so.
And that's a big deal. For men who don't know that, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, it just doesn't come out. Like, it just. And every time you push, it squeezes it, and that was the heart rate dropping. And
so it was kind of nerve-wracking, though, from your end.
Yeah, because we didn't know that happened until they cut her open and did a C-section, and then I was the first person in the history of the hospital to, like, hold my baby, like, right when it came out. So it was cool.
That was an allowance. They made that allowance to you because they knew that you had wanted a home birth.
Yeah.
So they wanted you to still be able to experience.
Yeah,
that.
Skin to skin, and just
create that instant bond.
Yeah. I was like in the kind of the emergency room. I ripped off my stuff. They're like, this guy's a meathead. Taking off his shirt.
So you want to, again, you don't see, Gray doesn't necessarily seem, you got the nickname the Bully, doesn't necessarily seem like this, you know, this highly educated, thoughtful. You really are very thoughtful. You're the kind of guy, you go out into nature, you cycle, you know, you think deeply about things, and maybe people don't always have that impression of you or a